Sunday Papers podcast about to get started. Real news and current events. Good for a laugh, but bad for common sense. Greg Fitzsimmons and Michael Gibbons. The Sunday Papers podcast about to begin.
Read all about
There he
it.
goes. There he goes.
Read all about it. We got a new hat. I got a new hat. Hey now, look at that.
What is the hat? Let me see this hat.
It's your basic Sam Jackson Kangol type of thing.
Not
Silver,
maroon. Not maroon.
Silver mesh. No, not maroon. Although I just bought a new jacket today that's maroon, kind of a bomber jacket kind of thing. I'm in Chicago.
It'll bomb.
Actually in Rosemont, which is out by Chicago O'Hare Airport. And I'm across from a big fancy mall. And I woke up early this morning and I couldn't sleep, so I just walked over to the mall. But the mall doesn't open till 10, so I sat.
Oh, no.
I got a cup of coffee and I sat from 9:15 till 10 o'clock for the stores to open. And then I shopped for about an hour and a half. That's how my day started.
You looked like the saddest mall walker.
That's right.
Who was shut out. Like, oh, wait, are we not walking this Thursday or Friday?
But my spleen hurts. Can we do it on Wednesday?
Surely Cinnabon must have fired up their ovens by now.
I could smell it. They're teasing me. They got a chain link fence, but they're cooking those fucking buns.
Oh, my God. I hope they have it on security. They'll probably make a poster of it.
I didn't steal anything.
Is that don't tell me that's the last maroon jacket.
What else did I buy? I bought some gym clothes. It was fun. I fucking love malls. Malls are all disappearing, and it was good to find one.
They are disappearing. I talked to someone about that this week. That back when I was in Neil Postman's class at NYU, and he was the American Marshall McLuhan, who was just warning everyone, you don't realize how much technologies change us and society. Like, without the car, no one predicted it would create suburbs. Suburbs are not a thing without, all that stuff. And no memories once we got movable type and ways to write and read. So anyway, one thing is, like, he challenged the class. He's like, where are you from? And it was like, kid from New Jersey, you, Michigan, you, like Indonesia. And he's like, you really think this is going to happen in the future with technology? You're all going to come from all over the world when we could do this live, like a satellite. But
wait, what year was this?
1993.
So the internet was like basically still dial-up.
No, there was no internet.
There was no internet.
I mean, obviously, I think medical communities had internet. I remember maybe there was internet in 94, maybe primitive. Yeah, very primitive. But no smartphones. And and computers were incredibly primitive. But he's like, you really think that's going to happen? He's like, and he goes, I met my wife online registering at college. That story's over forever.
Yeah.
And he goes, so we just have to be prepared for how much. And then the best part was everyone had the arguments which were being sold at the time of, no, it can bring you together. Like, I can Zoom with my grandmother. And he goes, hold on. I just want to get this straight. You're saying the technology that enables you to not leave your house is going to bring us together. And he goes, I just want to ask all of you that question. Have you asked yourselves that? He goes, it won't. And it was incredible. And, like, of course, everyone fighting him on it and stuff. But
wow,
I think
that
malls,
was prescient. 93,
but I think malls are one of the, and he goes, one of the casualties that you won't see coming because of a new technology.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there was a sense of community. And I was walking through the mall and I was thinking about, because as I'd go into each store, there was a manager, assistant manager, salespeople, somebody at the dressing room, and they're all talking and gossiping and laughing. And you really think about it, like each one of those little stores is its own little world. It's its own social world. It's a job. It's a sense of community. And the mall is just like world after world after world, all in these compartments. It's kind of amazing.
When we were in Nova Scotia, it was very cool. Like, we went to this bar, but it was on the waterfront. Boy, did they do their waterfront great in Halifax. So we're there, and they don't have they don't have many months where it's viable, but so we're there, and they're like, and then the chatter happened, and it was like basically a restaurant mall, like this riverfront. And then they're like, what are you doing tonight, man? And we're like, oh, we're flying out tomorrow. And then I think like Kate, my niece, was like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, well, I think we're going, hold on. And she like yells over to the other restaurant, like, where are we going after this? And they were all going up to this bar. And it looked like such a communal thing that Laura and I are like, yep, that's where we're going to. And we went to this bar, and it was so much fun. There was one live band was playing when we got there. A new one took the stage. There were sing-alongs. It was like this crazy guy dancing, which was amazing. And his whole table going apeshit because he's not a good dancer, but he was hammered, and he's out there dancing to Oasis. And it was like, that's kind of like what you're saying. Like, I bet the mall, they're all talking about where they're going socially afterwards and everything. And they're getting each other discounts at all their stores.
Are we crazy for not moving to just a cool, small town and just having a relaxed, like all the pressure off, and a sense of community, and no agendas? Nobody cares about your career. Just get the fuck out of LA. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's called retirement.
Yeah.
And I think you're there.
Whoa, hey now.
Well,
Far
I'm about
from
to
there. Can we transition with that to my stand-up comedy special?
Let's talk about it. Far from retirement. That's the name of your next special.
Far from retirement. And so the special, and I got to thank you guys for the support. Could not have done it without you. We just, as of this airing, it will probably be up to 300,000 views in 2 weeks.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Michael O'Brien, my publicist, and
Love
Logan
him.
Potter, my social media person, and Ari Shafir, who has been my guru. He calls me every day and gives me advice.
He's your Rick Rubin.
Thank you to Diana. I won't say her last name. I have a donations tab.
Von Furstenberg.
I have a donations tab on the special where people can give. And I ask people, give a couple bucks, 2, 3, 5, whatever. A lot of people give 10, some give 20. Diana, just 10 minutes ago, gave me $500 for the special.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like, I'm on a telethon or something, because honestly, I just want you to watch it. If you don't give, that's fine. But wow, that was generous.
How about this? You're embarrassed to do it. Anyone listening now, if you haven't, and so many of you I know have enjoyed the show because I read the comments and you comment on YouTube on it also, just go right now and give $1. You'll feel so good about it. It just takes $1.
Yeah.
And if you're there, you're like, I don't know, that's a long way to go for $1. Then make it 2.
Make it 2. If I get $1, I actually clear about 50 cents because of the fees. So make it 2 or 3. That's all. And then that way, right now, I'd have $1 million. If everybody gave $3, I would have $1 million right now. And instead, I'm way in the hole. I self-financed this. I did it right. I spent a ton of money. I flew in the DP from LA. And anyway.
I got your coozie money coming your way. It's going to happen. Maybe even this week.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Maybe even this week.
Oh, my God. Is it going to be cash?
Yeah, but can I talk about that out loud?
No, don't say a word.
I've kept a certain party out of the equation.
Yeah. So
does Venmo catch you? How does that work?
Venmo is tied to the IRS. They send in a report to the IRS.
What?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't know what it was. Couldn't someone have owed me money?
So you're saying a lot of people will have owed you $10 within
They
a 6 month
all owed me
period of time?
money. I was cutting my tongue on envelopes. I was ripping apart shit.
If anything ever encapsulated your personality more, I can't think of it.
Oh, man. Well, add a new thing to my personality. So you know the saying that comes along with 9/11. Guess what? I forgot.
I forgot too.
This is your first year?
Well, I forgot till the end of the day, and then I sent a funny meme to our friend Eric, who we've always exchanged funny 9/11 memes.
Dickie said there was, let me see if it's on here. He sent a funny meme, which is many years too late in my opinion, but hold on here. No, it's not on, but he described it to me. It's 2 airplanes like vertical, like with their noses in the ground. Two airplanes that are standing there, and then two buildings are flying in. Two skyscrapers are flying into the airplanes, and I think it said something like what Europeans hear when they hear 9/11, because of their 11/9. Anyway, I didn't do it any justice. I haven't seen it, but it's a very funny idea.
Yeah. So 9/11, everybody's got their story, but mine could have been tragic. My mom was on a flight leaving JFK at 8:50 a.m. The planes hit the towers at like 8:45. Mm-hmm. And so I saw I was awake because Owen was a baby. So I was up with him. Aaron was asleep. And Billy Clark texted me what was happening. I turned on the TV. And then my first thought was, holy shit, my mom is on one of those planes, And
right.
I didn't hear from her for like 2 hours because cell phone service was all jammed up in New York.
Right.
Might have even been like 3 hours. And then she finally got through, and I was like,
damn.
Fuck. There goes the inheritance. That would have been not only the inheritance, but what a story. Everybody's always trying to top each other with their 9/11 stories. I would have been the Steve Renazizi of all stories.
Yeah, his lie wasn't even as good as that.
I know.
Yeah. She was getting shit-faced with Seth MacFarlane and then, or hung over with him, I guess, at that point and missed the flight.
All right. So should we talk about the debate a little bit? I mean, we don't want to get political because we just lose so many followers, but we'll just say it was the most historic debate since Kennedy and Nixon, I think. And then Taylor Swift coming out and doing the endorsement right after was like just changed the whole direction of this election in 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm looking for a really funny tweet after it. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. But entertaining. It was entertaining. Can we at least talk about that?
Yeah, because the Biden one was just so painful. It was just like watching a human being melt down like that is just not fun at all. And, Trump did not melt down. Trump was Trump. He represented who he is and what he stands for. And I just think that the coaching was very different. I think that she was extremely coached, which I don't know. Some people are saying that's a negative. I think it's like she did her homework. And I think Trump, you could see Trump's team that was telling him what to say and what not to say, just jumping around and pulling their hair out. He was breaking all the rules about what you should do during a debate, which sometimes helps him. I think it definitely helped him with Hillary. But in this case, I think it hurt him. So, and by the way, speaking of television, congratulations on your nomination for an Emmy this year. The ceremony was last week, and I believe we taped the podcast just before you left for it.
Yes, it was in the hotel. And as predicted, the Oscars won, because it was so incredibly well produced and surprising and uncharted territory. And it was just, it was great. So I'm looking for this damn thing. Anyway, the tweet, I think, said something after the debate. There were so many funny memes and tweets. But one was when he said that we are paying for school children to sexually transition, I spit my dog out. I thought that was very good.
How was the actual Emmy ceremony? Did you have fun? Was it a party?
Well, a friend of mine there who was actually nominated against me, he produced the Grammys, and he was like, I think you guys got it over us. And I'm, mate, he's British. And I'm like, no. I go, the Oscars, the friend base that Jimmy has and the Oscars also, and that they have 70 years of people who have worked on the Oscars that are eligible voters and all that stuff. And so anyway, he had a rundown of the show, which was great, like producers get. And I saw that we were the very last award of the show. So I spend most of the time out with Mike Sweeney, who says hello.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was up. He won an Emmy. And
for what?
Conan, one of Conan's The Travel Show, I guess.
All right.
So anyway, I spent most of the time out in the lobby where they serve alcohol, and so standing out there, and then I walked in like with a couple of awards left to go or something. But I was there for the first bunch. Said hi to my boy RuPaul, who gave me an Emmy last time I was there for
nice.
Carpool Karaoke. I reminded him of that.
Uh-huh.
And people are like, what's the difference between the Emmys the first weekend and the second? And I'm like, here's the biggest difference. Way more trans people at the first weekend.
Oh, interesting.
Because a lot of the reality shows are nominated in that or the awards are given out in that first weekend. So there was trans people everywhere. And let me tell you something about trans people at an award show.
Yeah.
They are tall.
Yeah.
Very tall.
Yep. They're tall and they
be
really get dressed up. Here's the thing, and I'm not anti-trans in any way, but do you feel they go a little heavy on the makeup?
Tiny bit.
Yeah.
You know, there were a lot of wigs and a lot of everything, but a lot of them, you know, intentionally trying to be outlandish, you know.
I love it. I love it. I mean, there's nothing that makes a party more fun than some trans people that have fucking knocked themselves out to put on an amazing outfit.
And also, go ahead.
And they're fabulous. They're fun.
And all these people we're describing, and I'm about to differentiate, are fabulous. And before we get corrections, I should mention, I don't know if everyone I was seeing who was really tall and because some are drag. By definition, that's in the name of a show that does very well and wins Emmys every year. So I think that's not a trans person. So anyway, there was also a lot of people in drag.
Wait a minute. So LGBTQ something plus doesn't cover drag? Do we need to add a D to this acronym?
No, it's drag queen. So you got the Q.
Oh.
Yeah, we're set.
No. David Sedaris has an essay in the New Yorker this week, and he talks about, he was talking about going to visit the Pope. You know, they had those 100 comedians all go meet with the Pope.
Yeah.
And he said something about being gay or queer. And he's like, I'm not queer, I'm gay. And someone said, what's the difference? He goes, queers are annoyed by everything. Gays just want to know who did the floral arrangement or something like that. It was very funny. It is true. Queer, in general, are the ones that are the biggest word police people and, you know, whatever.
They question the most. They have the queries. One thing I'll just say, finally, what was cool is I'm sitting down and all of a sudden in walks, and 2 rows ahead of me, I was like in the 3rd row, 2 rows ahead of me, Mr. Dick Van Dyke. And
so you were that close to the handicap seats? That's a good seat.
Another big hello to you came from Nikki Glaser and her father. And they were both there. And the reason I jumped to that is because Dick Van Dyke beat Nikki Glaser out of her Emmy.
For what?
No, he literally beat her up and took the Emmy for best, you know, whatever. You know, these Emmy categories. It was like, his was like a variety. Yeah, his was scripted variety, I think is what it was. So it's weird you're putting Dick Van Dyke in this like show up against her stand-up. It's weird.
Oh, against her stand-up special. Okay, her stand-up special was good, and it looked amazing. Holy shit, they put some money into that one.
They did.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear. She's great.
Hamish, I think the guy, he won for directing the Oscars. I believe he directed Nikki Glaser's Hour. I think so.
Oh, wow.
I believe I have that right.
Also did my 100th episode of the Adam Carolla Show this week, which is a record. I'm the most frequent guest in the show's history, and they gave me a big celebration, and they dedicated the show to me. It was very fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Should we talk about what happened yesterday morning?
Yeah. How was it? You weren't here, or you were?
I was in L.A. at the kitchen table. What was it, about 8 in the morning?
Uh-huh.
And I'm just sitting there eating some granola, and boom, the room started shaking and rolling. And I was like, damn, this is, sometimes you go like, is that a truck driving by or is this an earthquake? This was like, oh, this is an earthquake. My phone immediately went off with an earthquake warning. Did you get that?
I think I got it, but the house was already shaking. The apartment was already rocking.
Yeah, no, it happened at the exact same time. Literally 2 seconds after the earthquake started, the phone went off and it said, hide, get under something, major earthquake.
And hold on, or say it was weird.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it was a weird message. It's also way too late.
Maybe for some people, if you're not in the epicenter, it gets to you a couple seconds later. I don't know. But it woke Erin. She was asleep. That's my fucking marriage.
Here it is. Emergency alert. Earthquake detected. Drop. Cover. Hold on. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I should call my next special.
Hold on. Yeah.
Drop. Protect yourself. Yeah, I guess it was like a 5 point something. Now this begs the question. We have our annual bet about whether or not there will be a major earthquake in Los Angeles. Does this qualify?
I mean, I don't think I forget what I even said, but I think it does not. I'm thinking a disruption.
Yeah, there has to be damage. There was no damage as far as I know.
No, I know. And it was in Malibu, and it moved. I mean, I'm on the beach. It moved this place.
Yeah.
And Chris was here. I haven't. Chris Weinstein, a really good friend from New York. He's out visiting. He's actually directing this job. And so he's staying with me because I'm an empty nester now, Greg.
Oh.
We'll talk about that next week. But
what do you mean next week? This is a big life change for you. We're going to talk about it.
I know, but we're 22 minutes in, and I just thought we'd get to the news.
All right, producer. All right, Emmy-nominated producer.
Also, I haven't really experienced it yet. So, I haven't had the time to sit around and look around like, what? I'm alone. So, anyway,
he's out here. You want to hang out more?
I don't know. I like you in Chicago. I think that feels right. That feels comfortable.
It's like your sociology professor taught you 20 years ago.
What?
This is better.
Right, exactly. So, anyway, a New Yorker here was interesting during the earthquake. Like, he ran out and looked, and he goes, "Your TV was going crazy." So
that's good for him.
Yeah.
It's like going to Disneyland. When you're
it is. And
all right, let's get to it.
This is only the second one in his life, and the other one was in New York, the big one that hit New York.
Oh, my God. The one before this one, I was masturbating when it happened. And I felt like, wow, I'm really fucking going for it here.
That should be the alert on your phone. Hold on and jerk it.
Hold on. Oh, we see you already are.
That should be an alert, like when we start to do that. Like that would be a good. I'm sure there's an app for that.
Oh well, I was in Texas.
I
was in Texas last week, and I put some porn on. I tried to, and big screen from the government came up, and it said that I had to prove I was 18.
Right.
And yeah. So I had to let them take a photo of my face from my computer so it could decide whether or not I looked over 21. And, it was very hard for them to tell it was me because of my eyes being squinted and the general sadness around me. But it felt like there was a very hard transition from letting them take my photo to watching porn with my pants down in front of my computer. Yeah.
Well, you should have switched from sexyfeet.com to another one. We've been told by a Texan, is it one of them? You don't have to do it.
Yes.
I forgot which one. What about your VPN, pal?
I know the VPN.
You forgot.
I don't know, but they definitely don't think I'm racist. Because there are a lot of black women in my feed lately. All right, let's thank Jane S. for this week's logo. That's a People magazine cover. I love it. It's kind of a nod to J-Lo and Ben Affleck unconsciously uncoupling from each other. I think that the world has sort of caught on that they are both not good people at this point.
I think a little bit. I mean, J-Lo's just out of control. And I mean, same could be said for him. I mean, he's not only out of control with a lot of his choices, but it also includes alcohol abuse.
Yeah, but I
don't know if she's abusing substances, but she just has this, I don't know if it's a narcissism, whatever that explains that crazy drive to just manically want to be on every magazine cover and live her life 80% in the spotlight.
Yeah, she's a diva. She's a true diva. I just had dinner with a friend who interviewed her once, and the idea was, this was for a major magazine, and the idea was that they were going to go out and get their nails done, and she'd interview them. They have like a girls thing. So they get to the nail salon, and J-Lo had like a posse of 6 women, and they took up all the chairs, and our friend had to stand there and interview her while she was in the chairs, and she was like half ignoring her the whole time. She's like, I could fucking roast you right now in a magazine, right?
That should have happened.
It wasn't that kind of magazine. It was one of those like fashion magazines where it was a fluff piece.
Right.
So let's get to the corrections. Mark D'Antonio.
Well, Emmett Hall and the song, did you cover that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Emmett Hall, great song. Emmett's done, I would guess, close to 10 songs for us over the last 4 or 5 years, maybe more. And this goes in the Emmett Hall of Fame, let's just say. Really
I like
good.
That.
Need some more? We got a few more good ones in, but always looking for some more songs. Send them into fitzdogradio@gmail.com. Mark D'Antonio says that the correction was, I tried to guess the joke that Sarah Silverman did way back in like the early 90s on Conan that she got in trouble for. But he said the actual joke was that she got called up for jury duty, doesn't want to go, tells a friend, and the friend tells her it's very easy to get out. Just say something based on minorities. For instance, when they come to you, just say, I hate, and I'm not going to say the word for Chinese people.
The Chinese C word.
The Chinese C word. Sarah thinks to herself, I don't hate Chinese people. So when they come around, she says, I love the C word for Chinese people, and taps her head, indicating how clever she is.
Right.
So funny.
Yeah. No, it's great. That's a great joke.
I hate that I had to not say the word.
I know. You're going to get hung up on that.
Then Sean said, correction.
Don't let it be a chink in your armor, Greg. You're doing great.
There you go. Correction. You can smoke crack and still be mayor of a metropolis. Rob Ford, City of Toronto. He since passed away. Now his brother Doug is the premier of Ontario. After the crack video was released, Rob went on Jimmy Kimmel. The Ford name is a staple now in Ontario. So I guess we're not the only one.
I remember that train wreck. Everyone loved him.
Yeah, he was bigger than life. Tour dates coming up. I will be in Temecula at the Montserrat Winery September 21st. Then I will be in Alaska, Tulsa, Kansas City, Tacoma, San Francisco, Cleveland, Atlanta, Janesville, Wisconsin, Nyack, a bunch of other dates. Go to fitzdog.com. Get yourself some tickets. Come out and see some live comedy. New hour. The special will not be a part of this new tour. I've got a brand new hour that I'm very excited about. You know what else I'm excited about?
What?
That support comes from Prize Picks. It's America's #1 daily sports app with over 5 million active users. It's really exciting. It's really fun. If you play daily sports, and not like other apps, it's just you against the numbers. So you pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and then boom, you just win money. I've done it for a couple years now, and I'm kind of addicted to it.
You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with, get this, as little as 4 correct picks.
And you can bet on things like Caleb Williams passing yards gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win in every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free WS. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends.
Yeah, withdrawals, all of them are safe, secure. When the picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes.
It's also safe and secure. All withdrawals are safe and secure. When my pick hits, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I mean, I usually make my picks late in the day on Saturday, so I have all the best information, and then I go in and I'm just like, I just get really. If you already love sports, it takes it to a whole other level. I really am a football guy. Once in a while, I bet on other sports, but I just I love football.
I hate
Tyreek
football.
Hill this week. One of the projection lineups is Tyreek Hill for more than 90 receiving yards and also 1 arrest, and Dak Prescott for more than 263 pass yards. Josh Allen for less than 240 passing yards. CeeDee Lamb for more than 96 receiving yards. So you go with your gut. Download the where's the right app? Okay. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PAPERS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code PAPERS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Love it. And speaking of game, what do we got? Game time?
We got some game time.
All right. I'm going on the app. I'm going on Los Angeles. I'm going into Discover mode to see what's going on. That's one of my favorite things to do. We got Megan Maroney. Don't know her. 169. She's tomorrow night. You want to go to the 49ers or Rams? 215 right now. Watch it. It's going to drop.
Whoa.
We got Astros at Angels. Oh, we have Cake. I love the band Cake. I know that guy too. I haven't talked to him in 20 years, but I love Cake. Let's see what other music is going on.
Wait, didn't San Francisco play the Rams last week?
No, I do want to forget what happened. So I go to Penmar, and it's Jets Monday Night Football in San Francisco. So get this.
Detroit Rams.
I saw that the line was 3.5 points. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I want to bet on San Francisco because I love betting against my Jets because that way they give me something when they, lose predictably. So no one would take the bet, of course. And then all of a sudden it's kind of tight first quarter. They go up by a field goal and Gibbons goes, well, I'll honor that. I mean, I'll give you 6.5, but he took San Francisco. So I took the Jets and of course lost.
Oh, insult to injury, to harm, to hurt, to pain.
They're terrible, of course. So anyway, Game Time has your deals. You can browse the seats. You get the view from the seat. You've heard us talk about this week after week. It's what else are there? What are they?
Well, the great thing is not only is it sports, but it's also theater, it's concerts, it's comedy shows. And I say this all the time. If I have money to spend, I can either buy something like this beautiful new hat, which I'll probably lose on a plane on the flight home, or I can have an experience like going to a Smashing Pumpkins concert that I remember and talk about for the rest of my life. So go treat yourself to something live.
Absolutely. And it's all in pricing. Another thing I love about it, you don't have to guess. It's like, oh my God, with their competitors, is it going to be double this price or what? That's the full price. So it's so easy to also keep an eye on it as it drops and gets close to game time. The seat views, the lowest price guarantee. They're going to credit you 110% of the difference if you get find a less expensive seat in that section. So take the guesswork out of buying concert tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PAPERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PAPERS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Nice.
Let's crinkle some papers, baby. Let's get into it. We're 35 minutes in, and we're going to finally do a news story.
Piece of paper. Watch this. I'm ripping it off a pad. And it's the front page.
Extra! Extra! Read all about it! Extra!
There we
you go.
Brooklyn-based activist Adina Sash received a phone call she had long awaited. Malky Berkowitz, 29, a fellow Orthodox woman, had finally received a get, or Jewish divorce contract. For Sash, the phone call also ended a 6-month sex strike she had mounted on Berkowitz's behalf. Jewish law affords men the power to withhold ritual divorce from their wives with no recourse. And Berkowitz's estranged husband had refused to issue a get for 4 years. So in protest, Sash rallied Jewish women to withhold sex from their husbands on Friday nights, known as a mitzvah night, as well as following a period of ritual impurity during and after menstruation, known as niddah. The goal was to recruit men as well as women to pressure Berkowitz's estranged husband to divorce her. Have you seen these Orthodox women? Like, I'm surprised the men weren't already striking.
Yeah. I mean, they have to do it through a sheet. That's kind of like a giant bag over a head. Meanwhile, let's be real.
Yeah.
The guys are less desirable.
Yes.
Although I wonder, the women aren't wearing wigs at home, are they?
Yeah. They wear them out in public.
Yeah, they have to wear them out in public. But I'm also imagining a lot of these couples were unaffected by the strike. You know what I mean? I don't think it was a pressing issue in the household.
Yeah, right.
And the women, the women called it a strike because it's a work stoppage. I mean, it's work. It's physical labor, all types of jobs. Yeah. And it takes a lot of energy to get through that, I think.
I also think that there hasn't been a picket line this pale and Jewish since the writer's strike.
Nice.
Bezos, the man who sold Jeff Bezos his $79 million mansion in a Tony part of Miami, is suing the realtor who handled the transaction because he concealed the fact that the buyer of the 3-acre estate was the Amazon founder, potentially costing him as much as $6 million. The neighbors are Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, football legend Tom Brady. The Brazilian mogul bought the property in 2014, so 10 years ago, for $28 million. He just sold it for $79, and now he's haggling over $6 million. Yeah,
this doesn't really add up to me, this story. Because why did he lose $6 million?
Because he could have taken him to the cleaners if he knew that it was Jeff Bezos, who's worth $200 billion.
So you're saying if you knew it was one of the shrewdest businessmen alive, you would have done better?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about that. Because what I heard, you had more in here before. What I heard was Bezos just came back and said final offer. Like, I won't go above this.
Yes.
And he took it.
Yes. And I guess he had already bought the house next door to this guy for $68 million. And it was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath for $68 million. And first of all, how do you not know it was Jeff Bezos? The house next door, there was a spaceship in the driveway. Not a private jet, not a helicopter.
Listen, I'm going to throw in a membership to Prime without commercials. Okay? You're going to get that.
Yes. And I will send you the check overnight.
The guy just doesn't want a bazillion Amazon packages outside in his neighbor's lawn all day.
A distraught mom, so you know where this story is coming from, has been left in a state of permanent confusion after hospital staff mixed up her twins, leaving her unsure which baby is which. Saffron Crisp, she would be known as Saffron Potato Chip in this country, had been carefully chosen the names of her twin girls well before they were born, but her best laid plans were turned upside down when the midwives pulled out the wrong baby first. I guess she had a C-section, and she was told that baby A would be born first, but that wasn't what happened. Afterwards, she noticed something wasn't right because Azayla, who had been the larger twin throughout the pregnancy, was suddenly the smaller of the two, and she was being told it was Delilah. I mean, look, here's the thing about twins. I think when you name them on their first birthday, when they might notice what you're actually calling them. And until then, you treat them like a pair of fucking socks. Same shape, interchangeable. Plus, like after a year, you kind of know their personalities. You could name them accordingly. Like, you know, like Mary Kate and Ashley. Like Ashley's the one with the attitude. So you call the attitude one Ashley.
You were cut open, man. They were both born at the same time.
Yeah.
They were in a little pool. It was like getting a fish out of a fish tank.
Oh, God.
But listen, she solved the problem. I don't know if you heard about this. She moved to Virginia, where the governor let her execute both of the babies.
Wait a minute. After they were born?
After they were born.
Wow. That's no abortion.
And she did it in a random order. She gave up on the order, which was good to see. There was some growth right before she executed them.
Yes. And then you, yeah.
I don't know if you know this because you're friends with them, but same exact thing happened to Sklar brothers, and their mom never loved them.
Never loved either one of them.
They were twins. Yep. And, they came out in the wrong order.
They actually,
timing. It was timing.
I've never seen kids closer to their parents than the Sklar brothers. They are so fucking tight with their parents. It makes me, I'm tight with my mom, but it makes me feel like, Jesus Christ, I really haven't.
They are family oriented. I think they have a nephew at Michigan, and they're giant Michigan fans. So,
can I tell you how much I love the Sklar brothers?
You do. Yes, you do.
They're just the best. Fucking best dudes.
They're very, very positive, man. I always feel better after having spent time with them.
Yes. You want to do this next one?
Man allegedly swings colostomy bag at cops at Kid Rock's bar in Nashville.
Huh.
Now, this will not be our only Nashville story. We got a little Bon Jovi coming up.
All right.
But what I liked about this story was the New York Post, so I left in some of their writing. So here we go. They were struck in the line of duty. A drunk man at Kid Rock's bar in Tennessee.
D-O-O-D-Y, you need to say. Yeah.
I kind of pronounced it that way. Also, I think you can make the joke without reading it. A drunk man at Kid Rock's bar in Tennessee literally lost his shit on a pair of police officers, swinging his colostomy bag at them and whacking them with his feces. Nicholas Adam Newhart, 39, was blocking an emergency exit door in an area of Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonk and rock and roll steakhouse in Nashville Saturday when the crappy situation unfolded. Security staffers told Newhart to leave, but he refused, prompting them to track down cops for help. Some Twitter users, meanwhile, couldn't help poking fun at the nauseating report. Quote, "If you don't want to be exposed to shit, stay away from Kid Rock." I like that one. I like that one.
Now, when they say swinging shit around, do they mean the Bud Lights?
Yeah, exactly. He's back on that. He's back on that.
What's more nauseating, the shit bag or an annoying ripoff of a Leonard Skinner song being played in the background on a loop?
Oh, man. And if only Bon Jovi was there to save the day, that would have been it. Listen, I don't spend much time downtown. I'm in Nashville a lot these days, but I thought for a second, maybe this is the new bachelorette party thing to do. It's like, listen, we can go around with dildos on our heads. There's a place with a mechanical bull, but there's a new place where a guy swings around his colostomy bag and the losers get shit all over them.
It's like a piñata you don't want to be near.
Totally.
Wait, so what is the reputation? Because you are in Nashville a lot. Have you ever considered going there just out of curiosity? Or
no, the whole town dreads, meanwhile it's paying a lot of taxes, but the whole town dreads Broadway. It's just become, someone can probably write in with it. There's no less than 8 celebrity bars, and some you haven't even heard of the act, but they're like pop country. But Kid Rock has one. And John Bon Jovi opened his. That's why he was there in the news story we're about to do. And but more than that, it has become the bachelorette capital of the world. It took it away from Vegas. There's arguments that it's more central, so East Coast and West Coast gals can meet in Nashville, and it's a little more towards the middle. But it's it's out of control. And so everyone I know who's a local there avoids it like the plague.
Blake Shelton has one. Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan.
Wheeler Walker Jr. doesn't have his yet.
Wait a minute. Adele? No, that's not possible.
No. Hers would be a, what would it be? A wine bar or a rosé bar?
Yeah.
Some Aperol Spritz, an Aperol Spritz bar. That's all they serve.
All right, let's get to it. This leads us very nicely into entertainment.
Here we go, entertainment. Yes, sir. You want me to do it?
Police in Nashville praised singer Bon Jovi for helping prevent a tragedy by speaking to a woman who was on the ledge of a bridge Tuesday. John was at the John Singlethorpe pedestrian bridge as a woman stood precariously over the Cumberland River. There's a video of it in which the woman in blue holds onto the railing while she stands on the ledge. People pass by her. But further down the bridge, Bon Jovi's team appears to be setting up a video or a photo shoot. Bon Jovi walks to the woman, waves hello, and then leans on the railing near her. There is no audio, but it appears they begin speaking. Other people walk over after that, after the woman is safe, and Bon Jovi embraces her in a hug. A few minutes later, he leaves the bridge with her and then got a blowjob in his car. No. Look, every time Shot Through the Heart comes into my car radio, I almost drive into oncoming traffic. So it's so great that he's working against how many suicides he probably causes every year.
Oh, please. That would have been the headline if I was walking on that bridge. It would have been, happy older man runs into Bon Jovi on the bridge and immediately jumps to his death. That would have been my headline. I'm going to call myself happy. Just go with me. Just suspend disbelief. By
the way, what a coincidence. John Bon Jovi's out promoting something with a camera crew.
Camera crew is 8 feet away.
Happens upon a woman, a damsel in distress, who he saves. Give me a... Why don't they stage the fucking moon landing with the two of them now?
No, then they were like, all right, wait, we didn't get it. Back to one, and she falls off the bridge. I slipped legitimately. And where was Bon Jovi when that poor kid drowned this winter in that river? Right near there.
Oh, shit.
Huh, John?
Right.
Where were you then? Camera crew unavailable?
I watched that documentary about him. It was like a docuseries. Oh, my God. Yeah. It's about
fast.
It's about his kind of attempt at a third comeback or however many comebacks he's made.
Oh, Bon Jovi. I thought you meant the kid in the river. Sorry. No, there's gonna be a documentary about that for sure.
Oh yeah. So the documentary shows him. He's a kid. He starts a teen band. They start hanging out on the Jersey Shore. He meets Springsteen when he's like 16. Springsteen thinks he's great, and then he meets his fucking wife, and they're real, and all this. And I'm so caught up in it. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. And then he sings his first song, and I'm like, this fucking sucks. I forgot how horrible this guy is.
He, by all accounts, is a nice guy. I don't know. But he owns on Palm Beach Island with Howard Stern. He owns a giant place down there.
And the Hamptons. I think they're neighbors in the Hamptons and down in Florida.
Right.
I'm sure he's a very nice guy. I'm just not a fan of that type of music.
Same. All right, let's make America Florida.
Let's do it.
All right, so I first want to just mention, everybody, the Florida man story that you emailed me to do. This is from Greg to me. Here's the headline, which we're not going to do. Florida teen murdered mom by stabbing her in neck months after killing dad by shooting him in head.
He's working his way down.
Oh my! Is that why you said it? Because you had that joke?
No.
That story is a downer. Get it? He's down. Next, it's going to be his sister in the chest.
No, I guess the police let him out. Maybe there wasn't enough evidence when he killed his father, and he went to jail and he got out early. I think he went to jail and he got out shortly after.
Oh boy, in Florida?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. We have 2 Florida stories because they're related, and I love them. Florida man arrested for attacking Corvette owner who revved his engine at him. An existing feud apparently, did you read this? I should an existing feud apparently existed between an unidentified 72-year-old Corvette driver and his neighbor in the Spruce Creek South community, 63-year-old Kenneth Michael Lewicki. The Corvette driver admits that revving up his engine was, quote, sort of a brag as he passed by the home of Lewicki on Sunday afternoon. The 6'5", 290-pound Lewicki didn't like what he heard, apparently, so much so that he drove to the Corvette driver's home and confronted him, where he allegedly knocked him over onto his motorcycle.
Oh, jeez.
Reporting that he's had multiple surgeries on his back, the victim was worried that the rods in his back had been shifted out of alignment by the impact, so he was carried by ambulance to the Spanish Plains Hospital in the Villages.
There it is.
I had to get to the Villages. That's, of course, where it happened.
I mean, look, if you've had multiple surgeries on your back, why the fuck are you climbing in and out of a Corvette? You should be in a Subaru Outback, something you're stepping up into.
I'm loving this Villages. I can't get enough of it, really. All right, so
By the way, this is why I drove a Prius for so many years. Never annoyed anybody with the sound of the engine.
Although you would just crank in your head, just press on that gas and watch lights happen on the dash or whatever happens. So it's related to this. Same week, Florida man punches guy for saying his Challenger is nice. The victim said he was waving at Sturgeon, the guy, while saying something about how much he liked the Dodge Challenger when the suspect stopped in the middle of the road before a stop sign. Sturgeon then marched from his Mopar to the victim's car, grabbed the man's hands, then punched the guy in the face. You can hear the victim reply he was just saying how much he liked Sturgeon's Challenger. So, Greg, welcome to this world of muscle cars. They don't call them brain cars, but you're different. If someone compliments your Mustang, the first thing you're going to do is march over and give them a blowjob.
That's right.
So it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, it's not a Challenger. It's a Mustang. It's a very different type of an experience.
Yeah.
I do think that it's for a guy in a Challenger, they're so overcompensating for their fear of being gay that complimenting him is a risky move. I would never do it.
I think that is what happened in this story.
Yeah.
It was a homophobic incident.
Yeah. I think a guy talking to a strange guy is just something that's not done in Florida.
Nice Challenger. I think that's what happened.
I've got a challenge for you.
Do you have any rivals on the road now? Is the Challenger your rival?
Yes.
You have to know your rivals.
It's absolutely the Challenger. It's actually closer to the Charger because I don't have the I don't have the 8-cylinder. The 8-cylinder would be the equivalent of the Challenger. I'd say that the Charger's closer to my 305 engine block.
Because with the Prius, your only Challenger was manlyhood, right? Or just testosterone. I think. I think
it was ignorance.
Or was heterosexuality?
Mm-hmm.
I forget which.
Yeah.
You had a lot of Challengers, actually.
Yeah.
Or rivals. Okay. We are going now to make Indiana, Florida.
Oh, interesting. We've never done that before.
Okay. The headline grabbed me. Husband admits adding cocaine, MDMA to wife's cokes in hopes he would marry her daughter. Okay. Alfred Ruff, 71, pleaded guilty to aggravated battery in July for trying to poison his wife. Ruff told officers in January 2022 that he had been spiking his wife's drinks over the last few months with a substance given to him by his wife's daughter. Ruff's wife, who called the Wayne County Sheriff's Department and told them about her husband's actions, gave the responding deputy a pill bottle that contained the unknown powdery substance. When deputies interviewed the then 69-year-old Ruff at the sheriff's office, he told them that he was sexually involved with his wife's 31-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. He then explained that his wife's daughter gave him the pill bottle and the powdery substance and instructed him to put it in her mother's drink, the court document continued. Ruff told the deputies that the drug cocktail would make his wife go to sleep for 13 hours or so, the affidavit says. He also confessed that he put the drugs in the drink to eventually kill her. Okay, a couple things. You didn't have to tag that last part on. No one knows that. Secondly, sleep. This is a cocktail of Coca-Cola, MDMA, and cocaine, and that bitch sleeps 13 hours.
Yeah, right.
I think she's going to die on her own.
Right. Yeah, that's an upper. That's not a downer. That's weird.
That's the most misguided murder attempt. That's as if Cosby gave her that. Cosby knew not to do that.
This is bringing up total deja vu for me. This whole idea of a stepfather and a daughter. Oh no, it's just a film I saw recently on my computer.
Yes, and the state of Texas knows you watched it.
Yes. Well, this is definitely a true crime movie waiting to happen. There's this series that I'm watching called World's Worst Roommate or something like that. You ever heard Worst Roommate Ever?
I've seen the series.
Yeah. So I'm 3 in right now, and I can't stop. I can't stop watching it.
Is Erin going to do one about her roommate? That's why I have no more roommates. No more roommates. No one can do that.
All right, let's get to sports.
Here you go. All right. Yes.
So Tyreek Hill. We should talk about Tyreek Hill. All right.
You want to talk about Tyreek Hill. You put that in front of my Shannon Sharp story.
All right, I'm taking it out. We don't have to talk about Tyreek Hill.
Shannon Sharp apologizes for viral Instagram live sex broadcast. I heard some of it, by the way. After initially claiming he was hacked, Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp admitted Wednesday that he inadvertently live-streamed audio of him having sex to his roughly 3.2 million followers on Instagram.
Damn.
On an emergency episode of the Nightcap podcast he co-hosts with fellow ex-NFLer Chad Ochocinco Johnson. The longtime Denver Broncos tight end apologized for his mistake. Quote, "Obviously, I am embarrassed. Someone that is extremely, extremely private and to have one of your most intimate details, the audio, heard for the entire world to hear. I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons," he said. "I threw my phone on the bed, engaged in an activity. I did not know IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on, so I don't know how it works. And all of a sudden, my other phone started going off." Meanwhile, that live broadcast had higher ratings than the Jets game.
Of course,
way higher.
Yeah. I don't know what it sounds like. I mean, this guy's a tight end, so if his wife was a tight end, I would imagine there was a lot of screaming. You know.
I don't think it was. Did it say wife? I don't think so.
Oh, no.
I don't think. No, but people have pointed out there was no cheating. There was he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Except forget to press the off button.
Yeah.
There was also not as many groans as the Jets game. So he might want to look into that. Not as many groans.
Yeah, he penetrated way more than the Jets offense. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot more insert football phrases that work. All right, what do we want to go down to? This
international. Let's do the international.
Oh, here comes international.
A former Miss Switzerland, Swiss Miss, Finally, finalist was strangled to death and savagely dismembered by her husband, who then pureed her remains in a blender.
Greg's story.
Christine Jaksimakov was found slain in her home near Basel in Switzerland. Her husband was taken into custody after he confessed to the killing. The ruling, which brought horrific new details about the murder to light, said the ongoing investigation revealed concrete indications of a mental illness in the case. Really? You think maybe this is a mental illness? I thought maybe he just wanted to combine his two great loves in life, his beauty pageant wife and smoothies. I wonder if he had a wheatgrass and spinach to her.
A blender. This is an arduous task.
You want to hear my joke?
Yeah, let me hear it.
I wonder if they met on Grind Her.
That's a good one.
That's not bad.
Yeah, you pronounced it perfectly.
Yep. All right, let's switch it down. Let's get to this day in history.
Here it comes. This might be the driest day in history ever, I gotta tell you.
Wow.
So let's try to find something here. You ready? A lot you would already know by like civil rights years and Prince Harry. All right, let's try this one. Muhammad Ali won the World Heavyweight Boxing Championship for the third time with his victory over Leon Spinks.
Oh, yeah.
Give or take 4 years. What year was this?
His first time he won the championship was like 1961. So I'm guessing I know he retired, came out of retirement. I'm going to go 71, 10 years later.
1978.
Oh my God, really?
He was old.
Damn.
Okay, here's one. The Lone Ranger, originally a radio series, debuted on television this year. I'm going to say give or take 6 years.
53.
Damn you. 1949.
Yeah.
All right. You'll know Nuremberg laws. You'll know Civil War. Tank in the First World War. You'll know during the Civil War. You'll know. You see, that's what I mean. A lot of them are tied to big. That one's not interesting about Edward Albee, who I love. The sitcom Frasier, a spinoff of Cheers starring Kelsey Grammer, debuted on NBC and became one of the most popular American TV shows of the late 20th century. Give or take 3 years. What year did Frasier debut?
1998.
Buzzer of sound effect? No. 1993.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because I remember Cheers was on when I was a doorman. And so we were there from 85 to 89. So Cheers was still going strong in the late 80s and probably went into 91 or 2, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Let's try to find you one more here.
All right, I'm gonna nail the last one.
All right. Okay. Very similar. The American TV series MASH debuted. It was based on a Robert Altman film. It debuted on CBS in this year, give or take 4 years.
1977.
You lose. 1972.
Really? So the Vietnam War was still going on when MASH started.
That's interesting.
Because it was based on Vietnam. They called it Korea, but it was obviously about Vietnam.
All right, let's try to give you one more.
All right, give me one more. Jesus
Mexican
Christ.
artist Frida Kahlo was severely injured in a bus accident, and during her recovery, she began painting and soon abandoned her plans for a career in medicine. She was probably looking around the hospital room like, fuck this. I'm going to give or take 15 years on this one.
1938.
You nailed it. 1926.
I did
We're
it.
good. You nailed that.
Finally.
Couldn't possibly get closer. That was perfect.
Oh, God.
All right, let's get sad. A little sad. Here we go.
And that's all, folks.
All right, James Earl Jones passed away. Powerful acting resonated on stage and on screen. He gave life to characters like Darth Vader, of course, Mufasa in The Lion King, and went on to collect Tonys, Golden Globes, Emmys, and an honorary Oscar.
Oh, did he get the EGOT?
He did not get the EGOT. I don't see a
Grammy.
How does he not have a Grammy for reading or doing a documentary?
Know, that seems weird to me.
More EGOTs were achieved this past weekend, by the way, in the Emmys.
Who?
I think the guys that write musicals on Broadway, I'm forgetting their names, but maybe they did Avenue Q or something like that.
Bruce and Butch? Is that their names?
I think it is. I think it is. So anyway, I posted on my Instagram at Gibbons Time that first time I went to a Michigan game, my daughter's there, was 3 years ago. And when I was there, the beginning of the game, all of a sudden you hear and this just like music bed. And then Sophie like tugs on my arm and goes, "Oh, Dad, I think you'll like this. Watch this." And so every college, which I had never really been to a college game. I used to go to Army Navy games. My dad would drag me to them when I was little. But I've been to a handful, but this was their hype video. So all these colleges have hype videos that they play before the game. And it's like da 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 da, and it shows aerial shots, beautiful shots, and then all of a sudden they show James Earl Jones in profile in the VO booth, and it says James Earl Jones, Michigan, 1955. And all of a sudden it just starts with, "This is Michigan." And you're like, oh shit. Like, it is just the word that I'm telling you, just go to YouTube, put in the word Michigan and James Earl Jones, and just the word "this." He's an instrument. It's like a tuba playing its first note.
All right.
And then, of course, it's a hype tape. It goes over the top. Here are some of the lines, which are off the top of my head now. "Michigan is the greatest university in the world." And then it's like, "We bow to no man. We bow to no program. We have won more games than any college in history." And it just shows, it's just Tom Brady, Jeter, Phelps, Gerald Ford, all these scientists and astronauts, and it's just it's the most power. I didn't go to Michigan.
Wow.
I don't even I hated Michigan my whole life before my daughter went there. I put it up against any hype video out there.
Wait, did he go to Michigan?
Yes.
Oh. Do you know what else that's interesting about him? He had a stutter.
Really?
He had a severe stutter, and he overcame it and went into acting. But he was a big, I think he was a big theater guy. I believe he's on Broadway a lot.
Another thing that got passed around was him doing a top 10 cool things that sound cool.
Yeah.
Right, when James Earl Jones reads them. And then another, which was, I think he messed up the words towards the end a little, but this was the most impressive is Michigan. The second most impressive to me was he spoke the national anthem at a game and had a backup chorus kind of doing the, like, just background, I guess, the harmony of the song. I don't know how to talk music, but he was like, "And the bombs burst in air," and like he spoke it, and it was fucking amazing.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I love it. Yeah, I mean, he kind of was the iconic voice of everything, and then Morgan Freeman kind of took the mantle since then, and now fucking Kevin Hart. I mean, what happened? What happened?
Oh my God.
Let's cheer up. Let's cheer up.
There we go. So go find those James Earl Jones things. He's a goddamn legend. Okay. Funnies.
All right. The funnies from last week was two women. They're standing next to a casket. The bottom's closed. The top is open. There's a gentleman laying in it. They're talking to each other. And Jason Cobb writes in, George tried to hold on a little longer, but his Sunday Papers koozie didn't make it in time.
Oh,
No,
James. Jason,
Jesus.
you know how to hurt.
You're not going to win with that one.
Jason, did you not get yours? I'll send you one. I'll send it right out. I'll cut my tongue on another envelope.
Devin Smith says, no, he's not dead. Whenever I need help around the house, Bill identifies as vampire.
Okay. Not bad.
Todd from Scandinavia said, Bonnie, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, Fran. What were his last words? That's so sweet. What did he say? You know me.
This is like a Garfield. What does that mean?
That's the title of my stand-up special, Mike Gibbons.
Oh.
You know me.
Got it.
Jim Dempsey said, my Lenny was asked to help with the casket. Always a pallbearer, never a corpse.
Okay.
There's some dark ones in here. Sid
right.
Talk
Can't wait.
said, Sid Talk. Then he said, there's no way in hell I'm paying some high school dropout $150 an hour. How hard could it be?
Okay. Yeah. Nice backstory.
Tim said, Steven said, want to see me fart in his mouth?
I hate to say it, so far that's the winner. Steven just ignoring all protocol and logic and rules. I like it.
Tim said, rabies. Wait, rabies, yeah, but it's not what you think. Some deli in Ohio was selling Labrador sandwiches.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Topical. Kelly from Portland said, Kevin's ego's so big we had to do an open casket.
Oh, that's a cheap shot.
Mike Markle said, never pee in bed when you're using an electric blanket.
Okay, good, solid advice. Yeah.
Sounds like an old Confucius statement. Ryan said, you're uglier than that dead guy. Damn. It's not a very nice thing to say to your friend. David Harriman says, a funeral in Utah. One wife says to the other wife, did you know our husband died of AIDS?
Huh, David? Huh.
Mitch McCabe said, why is the lower half closed? It's the first time this bastard has ever been stiff for me.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. That
All
is
right.
it. All right. Well,
I don't know. I mean,
think that McCabe's was very strong.
I do like Steven's fart in his mouth.
I like that a lot.
There's something about it.
Yep. Gets right to it.
What do we want to say on this? What do you think?
I'll go with you on that. I think that's my favorite too. Want to see me fart in his mouth. Steven.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Steve. It's Stephen, which annoys me and almost makes me want to take away the koozie. But
Sounds like
he
a
won
Prius
it fair and
driver.
square. What?
Sounds like a Prius driver.
Yes. Congratulations, Steven. Send us your address at fitzdogradio@gmail.com, and we'll get you your koozie out post haste. Next week's cartoon caption is, it's two dogs. There's a woman in the bathroom. The door is open, and you can see from her shoulders down, she's sitting on the toilet, panties around her ankles, and she's clearly in the act of either urinating or defecating. And the two dogs are looking at her and saying what?
Why didn't that bitch close the door? That would have been my first thought.
Right.
By the way, if you back up and squint, it sort of looks like a ripped dude who's standing in front of the toilet and has his pants between his knees, his underwear.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, I see that.
Right?
Yep.
With a crazy back, like a crazy back.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw a dude's ass. Is this a Rorschach?
When I see a naked woman, I see a naked woman. You immediately go to a guy with no shirt on. Interesting.
A ripped dude. He's tight. He's tight and ripped.
A lot of us calling each other gay in today's episode.
Bro. So we got a correction about last week's Garfield. So the joke was in the last frame, Garfield goes, and I've seen penguins in the North Pole or whatever. And that's when the other cat, was it a cat, had like a, you know,
I think he's a dog.
a dog, had a doubting look on him, right? Incredulous. And it's because there are no penguins in the North Pole. Old Garfield took it a little too far, is lying.
There was also a note from Sean Johnson, who said, regarding Garfield comics, the thought bubbles denote animal speak. The animals can communicate with one another via the thought bubbles, but humans can't understand them. Humans, John and Liz, have normal conversation bubbles. Also, Greg, that pretty supple daughter from Blondie is, quote, the younger child of Blondie and Dagwood. She is in her early teens, according to Wikipedia. So take it easy there, Tiger. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She does not look like she's in her early teens.
Yeah, call me guilty. What?
All right.
Who the hell cares what the thought bubbles look like and that it denotes animal speak? Isn't it obvious the animal's speaking?
Well, I think the idea is they're speaking, but the humans can't hear it.
You know, Garfield just might be way too complex for me is what I'm learning.
Yep.
That's what I'm learning. Speaking of, here we go. The 7th best Garfield of all time. And he's surrounded by stars. Is that just the logo? Do I have to describe? That's not the first cell, right?
No. That's just the,
so we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells. There's only dialogue in one of them, the 6th one. So that guy, I'm gathering his name is John. They're at a dinner table. John is sitting between a very manic dog who's yellow and then Garfield. Garfield's smiling and he has a tray in front of him and that dog is like chugging milk. And John looks half asleep, I got to say. The next frame.
He looks stoned.
Yeah. He then turns to the dog.
He looks like Doug Benson.
You're right, he does.
Yeah.
So then John turns to the yellow dog in the second frame. The yellow dog is very wired and excited. And while he's turned over, Garfield seems to be chowing down on John's plate. Third frame, John turns back to Garfield. Garfield looks a little guilty and has like a Cheshire grin. I could say that, right? And John's plate is empty. And John looks a little perturbed. And while he's looking at Garfield, that hyper dog is now chowing down John's salad. Oh, and it was John's milk, I'm gathering now in the first frame.
Yeah, it was his milk. Yeah, John eats very healthy.
So now in the fourth frame, he turns back to the yellow dog. If this is tiring for you to listen to, you can't even imagine. I can't believe I'm still awake. Turns to the yellow dog. While he does that, Garfield takes the baked pan in front of him.
I think it's lasagna. He loves lasagna.
Maybe it is lasagna because it looks red when it's going down his Gulliver. So Garfield slams that in his mouth. Now we get to another one. He turns towards Garfield, and now the dog, this hasn't been elevated at all. The dog just keeps eating the salad. Okay, in the last frame, John is being dragged out, and it looks you just see white pants. So I guess we're going to learn that it's probably a nurse or something, like a male nurse.
It's an orderly.
Perfect. So both the animals are sitting there.
Well, you're not mentioning that John's in a straitjacket.
Oh, I didn't see the straitjacket.
Yeah, he's in a straitjacket.
Sorry, John's in a straitjacket now. Attention to detail. So the animals are sitting there, and the thought bubble animals go, they say we can visit them 2 to 4 on Saturdays. And all John is saying is, food gone, food all gone. What the fuck was this?
Well, the thing about Garfield is he's mischievous, and you get the sense this isn't the first kind of episode involving food that's happened.
John should move to Ohio where you can eat your cat. How about that? That would solve this. Then we wouldn't have the next 6.
Yeah. You would definitely eat Garfield first. He's got some meat on his bones. That dog is skinny.
These pets are driving him crazy. That's the premise of this. But food gone, food all gone.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you just got to euthanize the dog and the cat. All right, let's get to
gone.
Hager.
Pet's all gone.
There's a long Hager, so I'll rip through it. So Hager and his boys are lined up in front of a castle, and the king is out front with his very nervous-looking wife, the queen. And he says, "Enter my castle, and you will be sorry. I will teach you all a lesson in humility." And then the queen says, "I admire your commanding self-confidence, dear." And then in the final frame, Hager and the boys are running out with all of his treasure. And then the wife says to the king, "I just wish there was some basis for it." It's like, look, bitch, maybe I stood up to them enough to keep you from being thrown on the floor and ravaged serially by guys that haven't showered in weeks. How about a little gratitude?
Yep. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm still rattled from the Garfield.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, that Garfield. All right, let's get to the Lockhorns. First of all, they do a daily strip every day, and then on Sundays they do like 5 or 6 together. And it's like most people take Sunday off, and what's her name? Bunny Host, she fucking puts out extras on Sunday. So in the first one, Leroy says, "You know I can never say no to you, Loretta. That's why I ignore you." And in the second one, Leroy's talking to a hot bimbo, and Loretta says to her friend, when Leroy says he does resistance training, it means he resists going to the gym. And in the next one, Loretta walks into a bar and says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Mr. Wrong." And the next one, she says to her friend, Leroy's staring out the window blindly. She says, "I never really know what Leroy is thinking." Neither does Leroy.
That one's okay. The other ones were like better jokes, I think.
And then in the last one, Leroy is looking at sympathy cards at the drugstore, and the druggist is pointing, and he says, "No, sir, the anniversary cards are over there." Okay. Finally, let's get to her.
Yeah.
Blondie is sitting faced away from Dagwood, as she should. There's no reason to face this fucking guy. There's nothing to see. Nothing to see here. He's got a remote, and he's saying, "I can't believe they can even call this a debate." And she says, "Calm down, honey." And then from the TV, you hear, "Shut up." "No, you shut up." And then he goes, "Again, they've ignored one of the most vital issues of the day." And she says, "Maybe there aren't many voters worried about whether pineapple should be allowed on pizza." And he goes, "Well, they should be." And the TV says, "You're a wimp. So are you." I just want to point out, we're not watching Blondie for pithy political commentary. She's got her back to the camera. I can't see her body at all. I see a little bit of calf. That's the only thing enjoyable. You see a little bit of side boob, but this is not what I pay an extra $5 for the Sunday Daily News.
Right. No, you need more. They're hiding her.
Yes.
From you.
Yep.
Maybe it's their version of a like a cease and desist
To me?
or a restraining order.
Against me?
Yeah, like you have. This is your 50 yards away. They hear what we're up to.
Yeah. They're keeping the Mustang in the garage, Mike. I don't like it. Take her out. Take her out for a spin.
They now know you have a muscle car and what you're capable of.
Oh my God. All right, listen. We did it. We got through another great episode of Sunday Papers. We want to thank our sponsors. If you want to help the people that help us, go to Prize Picks and get the app and use code PAPERS for $50 instantly when you play $5. Also, don't forget Game Time, friend of the show, Game Time. You're going to download their app and use code PAPERS for $20 off your first purchase. Also, thank you again for supporting the special. You can find it on my YouTube page for free. Enjoy it. It should be I think it's, by the time this airs, I think we're going to be at 300,000, way beyond what I ever imagined.
Congratulations,
so thank
man.
you.
That's incredible.
Thank you so much.
Go give $1. It takes a minute.
Yeah. It's quick.
Which, as you pointed out, go give Greg 60 cents.
Hey, or 500. Thank you.
Or 500.
Thank you, Diana. Anything you want to plug or promote, Mike?
I'm enjoying Slow Horses.
Oh, is the new season out?
I'm still on season 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love Slow Horses. It's great.
And then what else? What else?
Oh, you know what's good is Mr. In Between. Have you seen that yet?
No. I have a lot of
Australian hitman show. Really good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, nothing to promote, man. Just your special. Go back to it.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks to Midcoast Media for doing a fine job, even though Chris Denman was not present today. He's too busy for us these days, but we understand. We're happy that Midcoast is doing so well and so busy. Okay, we'll catch you guys next week.
Take it, Ish.
Take it, Ish.
Read all about it. The Sunday Papers podcast about to get started. Real news and current events. Good for a laugh, but bad for common sense. Great